Hey friends, this might be the dumbest thing I've ever made in The Sims. If you're chronically online like me, you've probably seen the video of Kamala Harris talking about falling out of a coconut tree. With all the memes going around about it, I thought it would be really funny to make a coconut tree shaped house in The Sims 4. So let's check it out. So I decided to build this in Sulani since it's, kind of the home of coconut and palm trees in The Sims. And I thought it would fit in really well in here, and I think it does. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think. But yeah, it took me a little bit to figure out how to make this in a way that looked like a coconut tree, and I think it turned out pretty well. But yeah, like I guess I looked at quite a few different photos of coconut trees, and they all had this kind of interesting trunk that kind of, I don't know, it kind of like cut in and then went out. So I tried to recreate that. And then I did these very as organic of shapes as I could with the like wall tool in The Sims. And it's definitely a trust the process sort of video here, because some of these shapes are a little suspicious looking. But yeah, they turn out much better than they're looking right now. For about 30 seconds, I did consider trying to make it vertical instead of just, like a flat single layer shape from above. But yeah, it wouldn't really work because you can't build enough levels in The Sims 4 to do something like that, unfortunately. But I think this turned out pretty well. You'll, definitely let me know what you think. But yeah, this ends up having 3 bedrooms. I think it can sleep 6 Sims. 2 of the rooms have double beds, and then one of them has 2 single beds. So yeah, I imagine this is maybe like a rental property. I could definitely see this being like an Airbnb sort of thing. Like it's very themed, for the setting. So probably not a regular house you'd want to live in. Plus the gameplay is honestly a little bit annoying, since there's what is essentially just a giant hallway that you would have to walk through to get into the house. But yeah, it's a very interesting lot for sure. And I think the most difficult part was just trying to figure out what to do with this kind of the tree trunk part of the house. So yeah, I think I really just ended up creating like, I don't know, like a workshop slash greenhouse, I guess. There's like a bunch of different planters. There's I end up putting like the woodworking table and the flower arranging table in there, which worked fine. It's just some kind of skill items that you can use. But yeah, it's basically just a big long hallway, so it's kind of weird to do something with. And I took a coconut tree out of the catalog just to try to match some of the colors a little bit better, which was very helpful. Even though it wasn't called a coconut tree, I think it was just called a palm tree. Which I guess makes sense. I guess I'm not really, knowledgeable about palm trees and coconut trees. I'm assuming they must be the same plant. But yeah, it was definitely very helpful to try and match in the different like green tones and wood tones and everything. So yeah, it took a little bit to figure out the right ones, but I think it ends up working out pretty well. And I do end up using flooring on the roof to kind of finish off from the aerial view, I guess. And I use these round rooms to serve as the coconuts for the build, which I think worked well from the aerial view. Obviously from the side this all looks ridiculous, but this is a pretty ridiculous build, so I don't expect anyone to actually download this and use it. Like I don't even know. This isn't the best house to play in, but it's just really funny. I thought it was just so goofy. And yeah, if you haven't seen that video, you really need to watch it because it's fantastic. And yeah, all the memes are just amazing. Regardless of your politics and the election, at least it might be somewhat entertaining now, and that's really all we can ask. And I also decided to use a bunch of palm plants to decorate the roof here to give it a little bit more texture, make it, I don't know, feel a little bit more real. I don't know. It just kind of worked. I liked it though. And it was just really satisfying to put these all on and especially see it sped up like this, because this obviously took much longer to place all of those. But yeah, I think I think the effect is really nice. And you'll be happy to know that Kamala Harris took some time out of her very busy schedule to test the build. I downloaded a sim version of her from the gallery, made some modifications just to her outfit. I think the color works a little bit better now. So you'll see her just kind of testing out the build for us, and you probably saw her in the thumbnail too. So very thankful that she was available to help out with this. So nice. You know, she's really putting in the work right now to, you know, get the message out, get the vote out. Doing a great job. And for this build, I ended up using a lot of stuff from Island Living that worked really well, you know, since it is in Sulani, which is the world that came with that pack. And yeah, a lot of diagonal walls on this build, so, you know, some of these windows are much larger than usual, which is fine, but it made some of the curtains a little bit more complicated to place. So you'll see me struggling with those later. But yeah, the floor plan was also kind of odd to work with these different, basically palm leaves or branches. But yeah, ended up just turning basically 3 of the wings into bedrooms, 1 into kind of like a living space, and 1 into a kitchen, which I think worked out pretty well for this. And I apologize if my voice sounds off at all. Today I was at a Renaissance fair, just kind of doing a lot of cheering and clapping and talking, so hopefully my voice doesn't sound too hoarse or anything, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. You'll have to let me know if you've ever been to a Ren fair. I need to go to them more often. It was a really good time. This is really only, I think, the second one that I've been to, but yeah, definitely a good time. If you haven't been, would highly recommend checking one out. But yeah, here in the build, this is kind of like the primary bedroom. I did this ensuite bathroom, and then there's another bathroom kind of between the other 2 bedrooms over there, which I think that actually worked out pretty well with the layout. And yeah, I did pretty simple furnishings throughout, mostly because I just don't think anyone is ever going to use this because it's so ridiculous. But yeah, I didn't want to go over the top and do a ton of customization or anything on this one, especially if it is more of like a rental sort of Airbnb sort of situation. I didn't think it would make a ton of sense, but yeah, I wanted to make sure you had at least all the basics. I do put in quite a few different activity skill building items, just so there is plenty to do if you do want to download this and, you know, play with it in your game. And while I was building this, I was trying not to go too wild with using a ton of different packs, but I don't actually know how many I ended up with, since I haven't uploaded it as of me doing this voiceover, but it will be up by the time this video is out. So if you do want to download it, you can. The other kind of tricky thing with this one is I had to use a 50 by 50 lot, just because of how long the coconut tree was. So yeah, it's so I don't know if you want to dedicate one of the few large lots to this build, but yeah, that was just kind of the route that I had to take in order to get it to fit, because I did try it on a smaller lot first and there just wasn't enough room. It just takes up a lot of area, since, you know, it doesn't have like multiple floors or anything that are usable. I did consider trying to do something with the coconut portion of the build, but I just don't like using round rooms in gameplay, at least, because I don't know, they just don't really work that well, and they're just really buggy still. So it'd be really great if the Sims team would work on that, because that would be a really great feature if it was really solid. But yeah, they're just empty rooms on the second floor, but Of course, if you wanted to turn them into something, I would love to see that. You should definitely, share it with me if you do anything with it. If you remodel this at all, would love to see what you think. One other thought I did have while I was playtesting this was if I had turned one of the like palm leaf, wings of the house into an outdoor space with maybe it's just like covered. So from an aerial view, you still get that effect. But it's actually just like a deck over the water. I think that would have been a lot more useful. Or maybe even like part of one of the leaves would have been really useful. Because that's really like probably the only downside of this is that there isn't a way to get to the water without going from the beach at like the front of the lot. So that was a little bit annoying with gameplay, I will say. But you could always add a deck to this if you wanted to use this for some reason. But yeah, that would definitely be one thing I would change with this if I were doing it again. And all of the bedrooms are actually fairly large, even if they are kind of, just super weird shapes. So, this bedroom actually has a sitting area. I thought that was, kind of a good way to fill up that space. And then the last bedroom is what I'm imagining is maybe a kid's room. I put 2 single beds in here. I added in some different toys. Like I think I put in a toy box and one of the really big stuffed animals. But yeah, since it's sort of like a vacation rental, I thought that would, be useful if you wanted to place this somewhere and have your Sims visit the lot. That way there were some items for kids to use if you have any child Sims you want to bring to this lot. And actually, when I finished it, this lot kind of reminded me of, I can't remember where it is. I want to say maybe like in Dubai or somewhere. I don't know. There's like these some sort of development with like houses or rentals or something like out in the ocean where they've like built up all of this extra land. I'll have to see if I can find a photo and put that in here. But yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, something about this reminded me of that. Maybe how it's like kind of stretched out from the beach and over the water, or just kind of like looks like that development. Because I think it's supposed to look like some sort of tree or something. I don't know. I'm not explaining this very well at all. So hopefully I can find a photo and you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, just kind of going through or kind of moving on to the rest of the build here. Put in a door, very, groundbreaking stuff here. And moving over to the kitchen, also more island living stuff. I really love the kitchen that came with that pack. Really wish they would have included upper cabinets instead of those kind of miscellaneous shelf items that they did. I don't know. That was certainly an interesting choice for them to make for that. And you'll have to let me know if you would ever buy and live in a house like this. Like, not necessarily a Palm, but any sort of, kind of wacky looking house like this. I don't know if I would, maybe if it was on a beautiful beach like this, maybe I could, live with it. I'm not sure, but I guess it depends on how much it would cost, because like oceanfront property like this, yeah, I don't think that will ever be in the cards for me. But yeah, I think the furnishings are at least pretty decent, updated, somewhat modern. So that's nice at least, and the setting can't really beat that. But yeah, I don't know. There's all sorts of like weird shaped houses that are out there, and I'm not sure. It would be certainly an interesting experience. And then over in the kind of living area here, I really like how this space ends up looking and kind of the layout. At first I was going to put the TV way over there at the end, but yeah, I don't know. There were so many windows over there. I didn't really want to have the focus be a TV, when you can look out and see the beautiful ocean and everything. So I put that a bit closer into the middle of the house. and I'll put in a bunch of different activity items throughout the rest of that living area. And yeah, I think it worked out well. You'll definitely have to let me know what you think. But yeah, I wanted to have so many more windows kind of throughout. Honestly, I could just put windows on every single wall section, just because of how beautiful Sulani is. But yeah, we definitely needed to have a TV, absolute necessity in any house, is just a big flat screen TV, for some reason. So I had to get that in there. And then, yeah, a lot of just different creative and activity items. So got to get the chess table in here. I put in a games table. I'll also put in a computer in case you need that. While you're on vacation, got to check your email, all of that good stuff. So yeah, but I like how this turns out. I think it looks pretty nice on the tour that I do at the end, when she is kind of like walking through here. I don't think it is too cluttered. I think I don't know, there's something kind of cozy about how it feels. But yeah, and then I kind of litter some plants throughout, try to bring some of that natural feeling inside, I guess. And this weekend ended up being really busy for me, just kind of randomly. Like on Friday, I went to a friend's place and we all watched the Olympic opening ceremonies, which I thought were really cool. You'll have to let me know what you think about that too. I thought they did a really great job, really interesting. And then yeah, on Saturday went to an art festival, and then went and saw the new Deadpool movie. Yeah, let me know if you saw that. It was a lot, but I'm kind of used to it. If you've seen any of the other Deadpool movies, they're all a lot. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was really good. Really funny, really raunchy and violent. So if you're into that, would recommend. But yeah, definitely a lot. Very, very busy weekend. I was actually hoping to get this video out sooner because, with any sort of meme, I'm sure this has already died and isn't really funny to anyone anymore. So yeah, hopefully people still find this kind of funny. I thought this was a really weird and funny idea. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think. And I kind of sped through. I pulled out a whole bunch of stuff from the catalog here. This is where I'm doing the weird hallway tree trunk entry area. But yeah, put in a bunch of different planters, a couple benches, the woodworking table, and the flower arranging table. I'll do those here in a minute. I just wasn't really sure what to use this space for. How would you have used this? Because I was struggling for sure. Then outside, definitely had to add in even more activities. So I got the smaller campfire here. I also put in the large bonfire, I think from Get Together, just since they have a little bit different functionality. If you want to, tell stories and roast marshmallows, a little bit different vibe than doing a giant bonfire on the beach. And then I put in the cooking pit item. I can't remember what it's called, that came with Island Living. Thought that would fit in very well, of course. Got some swings, got some boats, got one of the watercraft there. Had to get in some different floating things. And yeah, as you can see, since these are out here, a little bit inconvenient to get to with how the build currently is. So yeah, I kind of wish I would have done some sort of balcony or like outdoor thing on the other side of the house, so it was a little bit quicker to get out there. But yeah, and now I am just kind of finishing up with the lighting. I think this is kind of the end, and then I'll do the tour. But yeah, just kind of doing some simple lighting throughout. Try to use some of the lights from Island Living, along with these kind of spotlights in the bathroom. I thought those worked really well in there, so I didn't, try to do anything too wild or over the top with lights throughout. I think the ones over the island in the kitchen are Are those from Tiny Living? Maybe I forget. Used some table lamps from For Rent. I do like those ones quite a bit. They actually give off a somewhat decent amount of light. I still think all of the table lamps in the game are like underpowered. Really wish they would like tune those a bit. These ones aren't terrible, but yeah, most of them just are not very bright at all, which is so odd. Because I really only use table lamps in real life, and they're plenty bright in rooms. So yeah, really wish they'd go through and maybe retune some of those items. And for my next build, I think I want to do something with the new Lovestruck expansion pack. I haven't played it yet. I bought it recently, but yeah, haven't really done much with it. I know there's been some pretty mixed feelings about it. From what I've seen, it does feel kind of like it might really only be game pack level of content, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, now I'm here in the tour with Kamala Harris. Again, she was, big thank you to her for helping out here. But yeah, just kind of going through this like living area, which I think this might be my favorite room just from the tour. I think I don't know, it just feels really nice in there. The kitchen, not bad. I think it feels like it's missing something. So yeah, put in the comments if you know what's missing, because I'm not really sure. Maybe just some clutter items. Yeah, I did this little dining area too. So there's actually like the full dining, and then there's like a breakfast kitchen or table that I thought worked well. Yeah, the little reading area in this bedroom. I thought that was nice, little area to get away. And there weren't really any activities for her to do in this kids room, so she's not in this one, unfortunately. But she is practicing her next campaign speech in this bedroom, so little sneak peek for you there. But that is going to wrap it up for me. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I know there's a million other things you could be doing. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks so much. Have a great day.